Alright, it's recording, CJ. And a teacher.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to you about the Trojan War. A lot of people don't think the Trojan War happened, and some people think it did. They don't really know. A lot of the information that we get from the Trojan War comes from it comes from a book called the Iliad by a guy named Homer, who was like a famous author or whatever, and that's where we get a lot of the information from it, but a lot of people think that it actually really happened. So whether it happened or not, I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, it started with a thing called the Apple of Discord. These two Greek god and goddess were getting married, and they invited everybody to all the gods and goddesses to the wedding reception, except for Eris. And she got real mad and kind of like threw an apple, and she said, whoever grabs the apple is like the fairest, like the prettiest goddess, whatever. And these three goddesses all fought over it, and for some reason there was like a mortal guy named Paris, who was the Prince of Troy, and he got to decide which goddess got the apple. And Aphrodite, who's like the goddess of love, said that if he gave it to her, then he would make the most beautiful woman in the world, who was Helen, the Queen of Sparta, fall in love with him. And so he gave it to her, so he could like steal the King of Sparta's wife. And that's from the movie Troy, by the way. So they went to Sparta to make friends with like the Trojans, and Spartans were making friends with each other. And King Menelaus is like the king of Sparta. And Paris, who was the guy that gave the apple, he went to Sparta with him, and he like kind of stole Menelaus' wife, who was the most beautiful woman in the world, like I talked about before. And this isn't working. Oh yeah, that's it. And he got really mad. So Menelaus, he was real mad that Paris stole his wife, so he got a bunch of Helen, who's the girl, his old suitors, to go to Troy, and they were gonna like invade Troy and try and burn the city down, whatever. And like Odysseus and his brother Agamemnon were like two of the kings that he got to go with him. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Achilles, because he's really important in the Trojan War. It was like prophesized that Troy wouldn't fall unless Achilles fought, and he was like the greatest warrior of all the Greeks, whatever. So what you think about him? He's the son of Peleus. He conquered like 12 cities and 13 islands during the war. He was like the best warrior, whatever. He's a stud. He's the most active warrior. And he was like, when he was young, his mom dipped him in this like immortal bath, and she dipped every part of him except his heel, so like he couldn't die unless he got hit in the heel. Oh yeah, during the Trojan War, Paris, the guy who pretty much started the war, shot him with an arrow in the heel, and that's how he died. The war went like back and forth, nobody won, and the king of, I can't really think of it, whatever, Odysseus, he had an idea, and it was the Trojan horse. The Greeks, they told the Trojans that, we're giving up, the war's over, and they give him this big wooden horse as a gift. And, excuse me, and they were having a celebration and rolled the horse into the city, and were just partying because they thought the war was over, and there was 3,000 Greek soldiers inside of it. And so in the middle of the night, when everybody's drunk and like had partied all night, they all jumped out and killed everybody and burned the city down. So that's how the war ended. And that's pretty much it. That's the Trojan War.